let's have a look around the Trieste 125 the usual way. We'll go all the way around first so you can see it from all angles, but I'm just really liking the style. I do, I really like it. I know, spoiler alert, let's go. Right, so you can see there's so many like styling touches that just give it that classic look, and I really do love the classic look. See it round the back as well. Even down to the little chrome bits. I know there's going to be loads of classic scooter guys on here that are going to say, no, it's not, it's a modern bike. And I get it, it is a modern bike and it's going to have loads of modern touches to it, but it's just in the style of something that looks that little bit older. Like that for me looks like something that you'd see on like an old American car. Just that kind of vibe with the chrome going all the way around the frame of the bike. Just gives it something different. Anyway, so you've got the step through. I like it. That's an easy way to get on and off the bike. You don't have to stretch your leg. You've got a bag hook, so you can put a bag in between your legs when you sat on the bike. This is on 12-inch alloy wheels, so very, very similar to Vespa as far as the size of wheel goes. The lights front and rear are LED. Engine on this is a 125cc and it has got 8.7 horsepower. So again, it's nowhere near the 15 that you could have out of a 125 to keep it legal in the UK. However, it does boast a top speed of 60 miles an hour. So again, it might take a little bit longer to get to 60, but it will do 60, which isn't a bad thing, is it? I mean, that's the speed you need to go for me for a 125, and this claims to be able to do it. The seat height on this is 790 millimeters, so it's quite low as far as scooters go. Let me throw my leg through. Now, I am flat foot. If I go right to the end of the seat, I'm flat foot, but then I'm a bit too close to the bars. If I move back into my usual seating position, balls of my feet. But I'm all right with that because the scooter itself is quite light. We'll talk about weight very shortly, but yeah, it's a nice seating position. With my legs up, I've got loads of room. There's always noise, vans. The show must go on. Loads of room where my legs go. So if you are loads taller, don't worry about it. If you're shorter, however, oh, that's getting louder. If you are shorter, I would err on the side of caution with this bike because I'm 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam. And at the end of the seat, I'm pretty much flat foot. Now, that is stretching my legs out straight. So if you are much shorter than me, then definitely go and sit on one if this is a bike you're considering, because you might struggle with it just on height. But if you're taller, don't worry, because you scoot back in the seat. I'm on tiptoes, so it'll suit people who are around my height, maybe slightly smaller, but not too much smaller. But people who are significantly bigger will be more than happy with it. And it's easy to get on and off because of this step through bit. More sirens, beautiful. Weight wise, it's another really light scooter. Little to no effort to move this bike around because it is only 109 kilograms. So again, to use my favorite scooter as an example, a 125 Vespa, the one I went on a couple of weeks ago, was 158 kilograms. So nearly 50 kilograms different, of 49 kilograms if we're being precise, but that is a massive difference. I'm hoping, because that Vespa had 14.9 horsepower, I'm hoping that this with just less than 9 horsepower makes it a little bit quicker because it's so light. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping anyway. Let's keep going. Screen on this, yeah, I mean, this is where you see the modern touches. So you've got the old school, what would have been a speedo back in the day on the older bikes, but this is your rev counter, and then you've got a digital bit where you've got your speedo, so I'll show you that once I grab the keys very shortly. And buttons, you've got horn, indicator and hazards, high and low beam, right hand side, engine start, engine cut off. Delightful egg-shaped mirrors. Does have a 6-litre fuel tank. This bike, brand new, comes with a 2-year warranty, so that's what you get. So you got peace of mind for 2 years. And for those interested in service intervals, you've got your first service, which obviously you do your first couple of 100 miles, you get it back, they check it out, do the oil changes and all that stuff, and then you are waiting then 3,000 miles or 12 months between services. So that's what it pretty much is for a lot of scooters of this type. So no different really, but this one, £1,899. Bargain for a new bike. Anyway, let me get my kit. I'm looking forward to putting my heated gloves on because my hands are freezing and I'm shivering a little bit because it's bloody cold. Let me do that. We'll take it out for a spin. I thought that was keyless because that looks like your classic keyless thing, but it's got a key and your key goes in the middle of that, so I thought it was a keyless bike and it's not. Anyway, let me turn my gloves on because I'm pigging freezing. Right, gloves on, I'm good to go. Let's get on this beauty that pretended to be keyless. Right, switching on. So nice little screen actually. You've got the fuel gauge, nice big speedo, there's a clock, there's total miles. You can see this has got 0 miles on the clock. Yeah, let's see what this is like to ride, shall we? Decent turning circle. Now let me just check this, because this was always my complaint when you get a scooter and you have to twist it and you get loads of noise and no movement. And I want to see, is this the same or is this going to move as the noise comes in? So let's see. No, I like it. Let's try again. Yeah, so movement, noise happen together. That's a good start. That makes me happy. Let's see what it's like on the cobbles. The cobbles always separate the men from the boys when it comes to suspension. That's actually quite nice and smooth. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit, but not a great deal, to be fair. It is quite pleasant. Let's let them through. Yeah, it's quite comfortable. I can't complain. I won't complain. No one would listen to me if I did. Can I get to 30 before? I'm not that brave. I've not even tested the brakes yet. It seems to pick up speed quite well. Quite a nice bike to ride. Now, I last took out the MGB A9 and I think this bike rides nicer than that. Now, I know this is more expensive, but it's only more expensive by, I think, £150 if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, yeah, they're very, very comparable. This has got 1 extra horse, and you know, 1 horse does make a difference. Weight wise, the A9 was a little bit lighter. I think it was about 7 kilograms lighter, if I'm not mistaken. So they're very, very similar as far as spec goes. I just love the style on this. The other one was a more modern take, and this is a classic. Now, anyway, the reason I've stopped here, this bike has got no miles, so I'm not going to do a performance test. I'm not going to razz it. I'm not going to do anything that's going to harm the engine, because ultimately you don't do that, do you? It's a new bike. We've got to look after them. We want them to last a long time. But I just want to see how it is to get from a standing start just to get up to normal road speeds. I'm going to ride it like you would ride it, like anyone would ride one of these bikes, really. So let's find out. As far as vibrations go, for anyone asking, I am not feeling anything via the feet or the hands. I've got a little bit coming through my backside, and you can see well, hopefully you can see on the camera, the mirrors are wobbling a little bit, but it's certainly not an issue. You know, I don't feel like my fillings are coming out or anything like that. It feels all right. But anyway, let's get up to 30 mile an hour. Let's see how quickly it can do it. And there's 30. And I get to do a brake test as well. Yeah, so it gets up to speed nicely and gets down to 0 nicely, so it's got decent brakes as well. I like it. I do. I like how it feels. I like how it feels from a standing start to 30 miles an hour. It takes little to no time, as it's just done. And let's get up to 40. And 40 mile an hour again, no time at all, and it actually feels really nice, comfortable, stable at this kind of speed as well, as you would expect. But it's a windy day, it's a little bit of a cold naff day, but I'm not being blown all over the place. And yeah, there is no wind protection, no screen or anything to speak of, but the bike itself is just keeping a lovely line. I'm not being blown from one side of the road to the next. It's just a comfortable, easy to manage. Thank you. Yeah, it's just an easy bike to ride. And around the bends, loads of wet leaves. I don't want to see wet leaves when I'm riding a bike, but I'll avoid those. But it's nice to ride around the bend. There's no drama with it, but it is what it is. It's a comfortable bike, and this is the type of bike, really, if I was looking for a scooter. I know I say, like, you know, I like a lot of scooters, and everyone has their own preference as to which bike they want and which one looks nicest and all of that stuff. But I like how this feels. It's a comfortable bike. The performance is all right. It's not the fastest, but it's certainly not the slowest either. I like the style, I like the looks, and I've said it before, I love the old school looking bikes. I love the Vespas, I love the Lambrettas. I even like the style of the Royal Alloys, which, you know, for me are one of the nicest looking, classic looking scooters. I really like them, and this is just another kind of bike that joins that list. The difference with this, obviously, is that the price is significantly cheaper than all of those I've just mentioned. It is, and not everybody has the same budget. So I get, you know, if you've got £4,000, then yeah, you can buy any of those mentioned prior to this. But if you haven't, if you've got half that, then this is a good option, you know, because you're being able to join that kind of club. You know, you're able to join the club of classic looking scooters, but you're doing it at a much lower budget. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because, you know, for one reason or another, we've got different budgets for bikes. Some just don't want to spend more than £2,000. Some can't spend more than £2,000. Some just don't want to. You know, it is what it is, but that's the thing. It's having the option, having the ability to go and buy a bike of this style for less than £2,000 is a great option. Now, the only thing I would say is that I went out the other day on a Vespa 125 from Moto, and it was a little bit more expensive than this, but it was a used bike. That one, from memory, it was £2,199. So it was the equivalent of a take the on the road cost of, I don't know, maybe £300, let's say £200-300 more expensive was the Vespa. But with that, you're getting, you know, you're getting a Vespa, you're getting that name. So yes, there's pluses for getting a used bike like that. But then with a new bike, you're getting a 2-year warranty. You're getting all of that peace of mind that if anything goes wrong with it in the first couple of years, you're going to get it sorted for you. So you've got that. And you've got to weigh that up yourself. Do you want peace of mind with a longer warranty? Or do you want a name like a Vespa, you know, that everyone's heard of? Now, for me, I would say, and this is a personal thing for me, is because I have like a bit of a romantic thing going on with Vespa. I love Vespas, I love the character of them and everything else. This being a newer bike doesn't have the same character and same feel as a Vespa. No, it doesn't. But this bike being brand new is cheaper by a couple of £100 than a 13-year-old Vespa 125. Do you want to buy a 13-year-old Vespa, or do you want to buy a brand new bike? Because give or take a few £100, you know, there's not a lot in it, but then you've got positives for one, negatives for one, and, you know, vice versa. So you've got to kind of make your mind up what's more important for you. If a long warranty and, you know, that kind of stuff is more important for you, then obviously the new bike makes more sense and it's £300 cheaper. But if you're an old fool like me and you just love the idea of owning a Vespa and having a Vespa to go around town on, then of course the Vespa is better for you, because that's the thing with bikes. And I mentioned the romance side of it. We buy bikes generally with our hearts, not our heads. I've done it every time I've bought a bike. I've always fell in love with a bike, or I've had a, you know, a connection with a bike that other people don't have with bikes, but I have, and that's why I've bought them. And that's the thing with scooters. I think you can be that way as well. If you're not like me and you're just a normal, not insane person who just wants a bike for practical reasons that you can use to do what, you know, your trips to the shops or whatever, or you want it for college, work commute, whatever, then if you're buying a bike and you're not looking at the style, or you're not looking at anything other than practicality, then this is a really, really, really good option. It's just, I like Vespas. I do. I like this because it reminds me of them, and it's a cheaper way of getting onto that kind of bike scene. So this is a great bike. It is a bike that will get you on the classic scooter scene. I know there'll be a lot of classic scooter guys going, no it won't, because you've got to have a bike that's so many years old, or you've got to have a bike that is like, you know, a Vespa. But those same people said the same things about Royal Alloy when they first came out. And Royal Alloys now, every time I see a big load of scooters lined up, the classic ones, there always tends to be a Royal Alloy in the mix, because people have just got used to them, and they've been accepted, I think, into that community. This is in that style, and it's just cheaper. If you're interested in this or that, while we're at it, into moto, sell them both brand new. So I'll put a link in the description should you be interested, and yes, that is gonna do me. So for now, I will catch you on the next one. Links in the description for everything. I'll even throw a link in for these gloves because I'm absolutely loving these. I mention them on every video now, but I think I probably will because it's bloody freezing, and these keep my hands warm, like toasty warm. So love them. Yeah, link in the description. Catch you in the next one. Laters.
Oh yeah, he's a killer, that's right.